Welcome to another episode of FLEETtv, because science never stops. That's right. This is Carla Nafarate, Communications Manager at the Fleet Science Center. In this episode, we'll show you what you can do to keep kids or adults, that's right, I said adults, entertained just in case you have a little extra time on your hands. Our Fleetster in the field, Jason Nazarek, has the activity just for you. Over to you, Jason.
Hi, I'm Jason, and I'm an Education Manager at the Fleet Science Center. Are you a parent or a caregiver? Are you finding yourself spending a lot more time with your children at home? Are you intimidated to do science activities at home because you don't have a science background? Are you unsure of doing science because you don't know the answer to the activity or the demonstration? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then I have some tips and tricks for you in this video that will hopefully encourage you to bring science into your home with the confidence that you need to facilitate those activities with your children. To demonstrate some of these tips, I have a demonstration here of my own, right here on the table. You can replicate this activity at home. What you'll need is an empty bottle and a crumpled up piece of paper. I have a glass olive oil jar. Plastic will work just as well. And for the crumpled up piece of paper, it'll need to be about the size of a Post-it note and then ball it up as tight as you can. And here's what we're going to try. I'm going to place the balled up piece of paper in the neck of the jar, and my task is to get the piece of paper from the neck of the jar into the body of the jar. I can't use my hands, so I'm going to have to blow on the piece of paper. And I think that when I blow on the paper, the ball is going to go into the jar. Well, let's try it out. Well, let's try it again. Okay, now we finally got the desired results. The exact opposite of what I suspected happened. I thought the ball was going to go into the jar, and it actually came flying out of the jar. Now, what I want to know is why that happened. I could go online at this point and I could search for the results, but science isn't always about finding the answers. It's about learning the processes and the steps to learn more about the world around us. In this case, I want to learn more about why that ball didn't go into that jar. So, what can I change? Well, I had a medium-sized crumpled up ball of paper, but now let's say I use one that's twice as big, and I put that in the jar and I try the exact same process. I wonder what would happen. Let's try it. Okay, so the exact same thing happened. The ball was twice the size, and it still came flying out of the jar. What else could I change? What else can I vary? I have a glass jar, but what if it was plastic? And what if I cut a hole on one end? Would that make a difference? What would happen in that case? What if I used a jar that had a larger opening? One like this. Would I get the same results? It's important as a parent or caregiver to encourage your children to isolate one variable at a time. Changing more than one, if the results vary, then you wouldn't know which of the variables contributed to that change. With younger students, you may need to help facilitate these variables. With older students, meaning upper elementary and middle school students, you may be able to provide them with the ownership to change those variables on their own. We still don't have an answer, but I have a ton of things that I want to try as soon as this video is over. So I'm going to pause here, and I hope that this provided you with a little bit of encouragement to start some science activities at home. And I hope that you find this fun to do with your children, and that this opens up a ton of opportunities and possibilities for science activities in your home.
Thank you, Jason. I wonder if the same results would happen with a can of soda or one of the many, many empty bottles of wine I'd have at home. There's a new scandal in San Diego. Oxygen and magnesium have been seen out and about, and rumor has it that they're now dating. It has everyone saying, OMG. In other news, San Diegans say that they love the way the Earth rotates on its axis. We heard from a reliable source that it really makes their day. And another thing making my day is the activity that our Fleetsters in the field have for you. Reporting from San Marcos, Ryan Dodson and his lovely daughter.
Hi, my name's Ryan and this is Evelyn here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how you can use science to learn about the world using a lot of cool household items that you have laying around. So very young children use science process skills to explore and understand the world around us. These skills include categorizing, measuring, predicting, and problem solving. It's easy to make a bunch of different activities, doing things like categorizing fruits and vegetables into colors. You can go ahead and cut an image or drawings, make your own self-home puzzle, blow bubbles outside and observe how they interact with each other, or make predictions about what direction the wind might blow in. So, for this activity, we're going to go ahead and explore how water interacts with different materials. So, if you do this at home, you're just going to need some water and just some random items you might have laying around. So, to dye the water, you can use food coloring, or if you have some watercolor, you can put that in there. And then you can put it into some way to dispense the water. I have a spray bottle. So, Evelyn, we're going to go ahead and learn about how water interacts with different things. Yeah. So, I have 3 items here on the table. Do you recognize any of these items?
Towel.
Yeah, there's a towel. And then over here I have some aluminum foil. And then over here I have a block. So we're going to go ahead and spray water on these different materials and see what happens. You want to do the sprayer? Okay, so let's go ahead and spray the towel and see what happens. What do you think is going to happen to it? So before we do it, we want to ask and try to make a hypothesis about what we think will happen. So when you spray the towel, what do you think is going to happen?
Dry.
The towel's going to be dry? All right, let's test it out. Go ahead and hold the bottle here and aim it. There you go. Oh, look at that. The towel absorbed the water. All right, here, let's try the aluminum foil now. What do you think is going to happen with the aluminum foil?
It's spray.
It's just going to spray everywhere and you squirt it? All right, let's try. Yeah. Yeah, the aluminum foil doesn't absorb the water. All right, what about the Lego block here? What do you think is going to happen to that?
Spray.
It's going to spray like aluminum foil? All right, let's go ahead and put it on there. Find out. So this activity can be a little messy, so you might want to have some towels on hand too. Practicing science process skills early and often is important for children's brain development. Early childhood experts all emphasize the importance of supporting and scaffolding children's natural tendencies to explore, question, and use their curiosity. If you guys have any suggestions for some fun science activities you can try at home for your kids, suggest them down in the comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of FLEETtv. If you try any of these activities with your kids or adults, let us know what your results were in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and follow us on social media for more science fun. See you next time.